If you want to get rich in your 20s, you got to realize that it's really not that complicated. I'm not saying it's easy and I'm not saying it doesn't take hard work, but if you want to do it, you can. It's just going to require you to devote some time to be disciplined and develop some skill sets that's going to allow you to actually become valuable enough to make that money. A lot of the ability to make a lot of money comes from taking stress off of other people. So, for example, let's just use sales. If you are a good salesman, you are taking a ton of stress off the business owner by getting him sales and generating him cash flow. So, for example, in my business, if you come in and you're an amazing closer, I am going to love you. You are going to be my favorite person. If you can come in and close me deals, you're my best friend. So, you're taking so much stress off my back that I don't have to worry about closing deals. And if you're going to do that for me, I mean, you're solving a huge problem for my business. And this goes for everything. So whether you're an amazing salesman, an amazing marketer, whatever it is, there's so many different skill sets that you can develop. There's not one right path to take. There's so many things you can experiment with and learn. And eventually you're just going to find that one thing that hits for you, as it was for me. So to tell you about myself and my journey of how it took for me to get rich, I started when I was 14 learning Forex. My dad introduced me to trading. He'd been a long-term investor, very safe long-term things, but he was like, let's look into this trading Forex thing and let's see if we can make something happen. So we tried Forex, we tried futures, we tried many different things. In the long run, we had a couple different successful bouts. Like I remember finding this one thing called the news trade, and I made some pretty good money with it, especially being that I was 17 years old and it only took 5 minutes to do. I made some good money as a 17-year-old taking these trades, just having to wake up at 3 a.m. and it would be done within 10 minutes. You'd make anywhere from like $200 to $1,000, and I had some good success with that. But unfortunately, markets changed, COVID hit, that didn't work out long term. So I've tried many things and had success with certain things. Trading was that first thing I really went for. And in the long term, we did develop option strategies that worked out in the long run, things like cash secured puts, covered calls, a couple different ones that are a little more complicated, but those are the two basics that I can consistently use to make myself money. It's not anything crazy, but it's good money that you can produce, and if you can trade it well, you can make some all right money, but it's not going to get you rich, and it requires a good bit of capital in order to get started. So for me, I always had the dream of being a trader, but eventually I realized that that dream just wasn't really going to pan out, and I needed to develop other skill sets. So the next thing I went into, and actually to add in, during that time I did try other businesses, but if I'm being honest, at 15 I tried Amazon FBA, but I was just way too immature and I wasn't really as hardworking. I hadn't developed that work ethic. I hadn't faced too many big losses in order to really motivate me to get to that next level. So I did it with my dad, but we just didn't even have success. Honestly, I didn't put enough on my part to have success. I didn't learn about it. So I mean, I could have potentially been successful at it, but I just, sometimes you're gonna fail just due to the fact that you're not working hard enough, it's gonna be a hit that you'll feel later on when you realize that it could have been a good business model if you just gave it more effort. So things like that. I mean, I've tried so many different models. I mean, drop shipping, the Amazon FBA, along with the trading at that time. I've even just tried starting like Instagram accounts. I started a car account while I was in my senior year of high school when I was 17 as well. I actually got some following with that. But the next big thing I went into was trying social media. I've tried it a couple times in the past throughout this whole stock trading phase. But when I really dove into it serious, it was after my breakup. But I honestly talked about things that truly didn't resonate with me, and I was doing it more for the views. I didn't really feel proud of the work that I was producing. So I was doing that kind of while I was in that monk mode. I talked about this in my last video. So I really wasn't like too social, but when I started getting social again, I really wasn't proud of the work I was doing, and that kind of made me stop it. I honestly could have probably made that into a successful business, but once again, I was still lacking that business and sales experience. And then that's when I dove into that sales career and that sales career path, trying out all these different jobs. The first couple ones I went into were life insurance. My first one was a terrible role. It was really just not beginner friendly, and I completely failed. It wasn't until my second company that I actually started making some money, but once again, they had you pay for the lead, so it was $60 for a live transfer phone call. That meant $60 per time you took a call. It was way too much money, so it was just hard to stay profitable in the long run if you had, a couple bad calls. And this was only my second official sales career, so I wasn't a killer at sales, and I had to try and relate to these old people. It just wasn't for me. I did get into a third company, and this one was really good. They had all this ongoing support, one-on-one call review, live chat support, weekly team meetings. It was so, you felt like a team, you felt like part of that community. And they had live transfers, but it was free at a reduced commission. And that's where I had success, because I was able just to really learn with that company and grow as a salesman. And since then, I've had success in every single sales career that I've went into after that. I've went into the business loan space, the mortgage industry, had some success, but once again, it just wasn't for me, being that the sales process was so long. It would take weeks or even months to get a deal, so many different follow-ups. You'd lose deals at the last minute. I'm more of the one call, two call type close type of person. That's my type of sales. I like to build rapport quickly, get that sale on the first call. So that's why I moved into the high ticket space. And being that I have so much sales knowledge, so much experience, I've read books, developed my mindset, lived a lot of life, and have a lot of life experiences, I was ready to take on starting my own company. So that is my most recent venture, is I have my own sales course and mentorship program in the high ticket space. And this is where I've had the most success, earning quite a bit of money. Specifically, my best week was 5K in profit in a week's time, and I started that, and I got up to that point in less than 2 months. So to sum it up into the original message of the original thing that we started on, getting rich in your 20s, as it is not easy, it can be done if you just are persistent with it. You're not going to know exactly what is going to be that thing that gets you rich. How are you going to know that, right? But you got to experiment, try things. Your path will just kind of unfold in front of you. You'll see opportunities. My dad always told this to me. He was like, when I really wasn't doing much back when I was younger and I just left high school, I didn't go to college, he was like, Seb, what are you doing? If you're not trying things, how are things going to unfold? How are you going to find your career path and what's going to work for you if you're not trying things? You need to be out there experimenting, failing, growing, trying different careers, seeing what you're good at, seeing what you wouldn't want to do with your life. All these things are going to lead you to that right path. So you have to be out there just doing things and trying things. I recommend being in a sales career. Being in a sales career actually is what allowed me to start this business, because I'm a very quick learner. So I was able to piece together many little things, like watching someone else run a sales meeting and a weekly team meeting. I was like, okay, I can do that. Now I know how to do that. This is what they do. Boom, 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 done, easy. I can do the same thing. All these little things, learning the whole back end, or learning the whole, if you learn sales, you kind of learn a company as a whole. So after joining just a few different companies, you'll very quickly learn how these companies are running to some degree, and it'll allow you to run your own company in the future. So if you are someone who's aspiring to be a business owner, the best thing I could do, or I would recommend for you, is to get into a sales career. It's going to teach you so much. You're going to learn so many different aspects to business. And sales is one of the most important things in business, because if you don't have sales, you just have a company website with a product that doesn't sell. So without sales, you don't have a business. So it's the most important part to your business. If you are looking to get into sales, like I said, I do have a sales mentorship program, and it's a very cool system. It's something very unique to the market. So how it works is, you can actually learn how to be an appointment setter and work with us at our company. And learning by doing is kind of the system. That's how I really learned, explaining from that third sales career that I took on. Very much a learn by doing system. You're getting constant feedback and mentorship in this role, along with the appointment setting sales courses that you receive upon joining. So if this is something that sounds of interest to you, I'll put my booking link down below along with the website, and you can go ahead and check that out and see if this is a a path and a step that you want to make to get into the high ticket sales space, being that it is one of the best industries to get into and is only going to grow in the future. All right, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys can get rich in your 20s as well, following some of this advice. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.